Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another a tech video, actually, because I've been cranking out that tech content. I have not actually been making. I've been procrastinating on this video, but whatever, it is what it is. So recently I did the follow up video where public beta. I told y'all that I would notify y'all when public beta is out. That will be linked down in the description to that video. And this video talks about how good is beta 2 of iOS 14, and should you install the public beta if you're on the Gold Master of iOS 13.6? Yes, I said Gold Master because the Gold Master copy of iOS 13.6 was released today. If you were on the beta of 13.6, you can go to Settings, General, then Software Update. And so iOS 13.6 will be released either probably next week. And beta 3 of iOS 14, I'm talking on developed beta schedules. Well, they also put public beta on the same schedule, which is actually nice. They didn't do public beta 1. So they're both public beta 3 and developed beta 3 will be on the 2 weeks from the 7th. Roughly 14 days. It took Apple 15 days to release beta 2. So far, for my iPad Pro and my iPhone 7's got 80% maximum capacity and battery, so it's a little on the trashy side. But the iPad Pro here, I've been doing whatever. It's at 65% battery. I did not want to use VoiceOver to see it, so I had to read it. So it's at 65% battery, and it's been unplugged since 1:30 p.m. And it's let's see, it's about 4 minutes to 7 p.m. and I'm getting amazing battery life. Literally, I got more than 5 hours. See, with iPadOS 14 Beta 1, I only got about 8 hours out of my battery. Now I'm probably getting about on a normal average use, if I'm not doing a heavy usage load of running any like model renderings for my business, or any fun coding scripts, or doing some coding in the background. Doing some coding. No, I do not make dangerous stuff when it comes down to coding. I'm just starting to learn some Python code. So I'm getting into other things. I want to get into Swift Playgrounds and learn how to do Swift, because that stuff. But whenever the iPad Pro was not, like yesterday when it was under a heavy load, I used more battery. But today it's running like it would run on iPad, like it's running on iPadOS 13.5.1. There's a little bit of lag with VoiceOver for visually impaired users that like to test betas. There's a little bit of lag with VoiceOver in beta 1, beta 2. That has been fixed, about 75% of the way fixed. And we went from the last letter on the end of the build number from J to I, or not J, from, I think it was V. We went from V back to I, which is a humongous jump in beta. So, battery life on the iPad Pro is pretty good. I don't know about an iPhone XS Max, iPhone 11, iPhone XR, iPhone XS, or the iPhone X, 8. I know the 7 Plus and 7, especially if you got 80% maximum capacity. It takes a toll on the battery, but that's because it's a beta. And betas will use a little bit more battery life than, say, a public release, because it's collecting diagnostic logs, which you can go into settings and turn that off in privacy. There ain't a how-to video right now, but for me, I'm not having that many problems. See, my friend Justin had to restore his iPad Mini 5 because the VoiceOver, he's almost completely blind. VoiceOver was being more unresponsive than it was on my iPad Pro. So he downgraded back to 13.5.1 because it was way quicker. It was more snappier and it could do things. I don't know if that got fixed in beta 2, but if your device is running sluggish, if you have a computer, then you can restore on Windows via iTunes, or a Mac via the Finder. So yeah, I hope you have a computer nearby. Even a public beta, you could have a risk of losing data, which is not likely during this release of this beta, because me personally, I've been running the beta for a long time, since it came out, and I have really had no problems. Now I'm going to jump into like RAM and CPU and all that other cool stuff. So my Pro, even screen recording, I'm sitting at about 13% CPU usage. the red bar I want y'all to pay attention to, which is wired RAM, which is currently being used by the system, which is about 1.09 gigabytes. I've seen it. I've seen it one time earlier today. It was as low as 550 megabytes. Now it's up higher because I was watching YouTube videos and whatever else. So RAM usage of apps staying open in the background, it's perfect. It runs. It's amazing. And one time I had 16 out of 21 apps open on the app switcher, and I have 4 gigabytes of memory on this iPad Pro. I have the 3rd generation 2018 iPad Pro, which that review is coming up at the end of this month. I'm excited. So, yeah, I'm mainly me. As long as you have a computer nearby in case if you run into some problems and you need to downgrade, hope you have that. But if you just don't care and you want to experience bugs and you want to experience a little bit of problems, but as betas roll out, it'll get better and better. Me, personally, upgrade at your own risk. I'm not held responsible for what happens to your device, but me personally, I'd go ahead and go to beta.apple.com and download the public beta, which is completely free. If you do not have a public beta profile or public beta account, you can sign up through Apple, which is easily your email, your password, you log into your account, and then you agree to their terms and conditions, Apple's, and then you just install the public beta profile and then reboot your device, and it'll populate on your device of iOS for the iPhone, iOS 14.0 public beta, which would be it would immediately install public beta 2, which will roughly it'll be about 4 gigs because it has to override the system. Now, developer betas I would not run. It's not worth it because the public beta, if something horribly goes wrong with a developer beta, they will not release a public beta for the public, which will save your device from either downloading or installing it if you got automatic updates on, which I recommend running automatic updates when you're running betas because things can update overnight if there is a beta and you're just too lazy to check it out. But, why don't you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell and like and make a comment down below, and you may get a reply from me. So, once again, I will keep y'all up to date. So far with me, 48 hours later, iOS 14 and iPadOS 14. iPadOS has been running pretty good. iOS 14 on an iPhone 7 is running okay. VoiceOver's a little laggy, but all in all, me, iOS 14, iPadOS 14, thank you, Apple. I'm impressed. It's an iOS 12 with baked-in features that do not cause problems like 13 did. So if you want to upgrade, you want to update, go to the public beta program. I'll leave a link down in the description to my video on what you need to do or whatever, the other video that I did earlier today, and we'll go from there. And I'll have another update, and I will update y'all when public beta 3 comes out. So simply me, iOS 14 beta 2 so far pretty good, besides me having a little widget problem on the when I bring down my notification center on my lock screen. I cannot access my old widgets, but that's whatever. It is what it is. It's a beta. The developer will update the app in the fall. Just beware that apps do not work, like if you use Amazon Music, which here, it crashes, and they cannot update it until the update comes out in the fall, supposedly. So, that's the only app that I noticed that crashes, but I'd watch out that maybe your banking apps or whatever you use may not work as good as it did on 13.5.1, or if you're watching this in the future, 13.6 or 13.6.1 possibly. I don't see a 13.7 coming out. I saw one tech YouTuber saying that about possibly a 13.7. I don't see that happening. Maybe 13.6.1 or 13.6.2, but not a 13.7. So anyways, all in all, 14, pretty good for me. Anyways, I will see y'all. Even on the iPad Mini 4, it's actually running pretty okay. It's an AA. It's showing its age, but it runs pretty good. Anyways, peace.